Well, hello, and welcome back to Pieces of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. We paint pieces. We're still painting this massive Malaketh. It's really big piece. So much stuff to do on this guy all the time. It is a lot of work. So we are gonna get a lot more of this done today, and then we're gonna move forward with it. Hopefully, in the next couple of days, we'll have this guy wrapped up, and then we get to work on the next one. We have yet more of these Elden Ring guys to go, so that's super exciting. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a pretty good weekend. We did a lot more gardening. Vegetable garden is now built and complete. Ooh, golly, I'm already making misstrokes. It's probably because I didn't turn on the music. That's my reminder. So, but we're pretty much just cruising at this point. We're going through these highlights, and once we get all these highlights all said and done, then we can move on to the next little bits of whatever we got to do. We'll do a little bit of addressing some of this leather today as well. That way we can get that part done. And I meant to look up the handle of this silly sword, but I did not. But yeah, there you go. Happens. Alright. Yeah, I was going to do a little bit of this gilding off camera, this little edge highlighting stuff, but I ended up busy doing a lot of other stuff. And I wore myself out yesterday building that garden. It was a lot of work. Totally worth every minute of it. But I was so tired. Yesterday evening I couldn't do anything but lay there and play games. We're almost done. We got the flower bed in yesterday, so it's on and pumping. The vegetable garden is completely done with its construction. Now we've just got to keep the vegetables growing. Added a Japanese eggplant and a red bell pepper. Super exciting. We seem to eat plenty of red bell peppers, and Kristen loves eggplants, especially Japanese eggplant. So we're gonna grow those for her so she can eat them. Be nice. Be very nice. Alright. Such a tight little area right in there, but one of the good things about this model being such a big guy is that tight area isn't quite as tight as it is on most of the miniatures I'm used to working on. They're a lot tighter. I don't know that it necessarily makes it any easier. It does make you a little less nervous, I think. So that part's nice. And we're gonna come back with that darker, what's called dark silver from Pro Acryl. We'll be coming back with that in between all these gaps, but we want to get all this first round of edging done before we do that. That way we can kind of clean up our mistakes. That thing hooked right on that cable. That's funny. It's a lot of little edges. And you'll get so tired of doing it that your eyes will get buggy. Like, oh my god, are we done with the gilding? Like, nope, we still got lots to go. I'm going to try not to overstrike, but it's going to happen. You just accidentally go down in there or whatever. And so don't freak out. Just get a little wet brush and take it off there. Again, we are going to paint through that, a lot of that later anyway. And you can see how it ended up. Ooh, I'm out of frame. You can see how it ended up right here, where that armor, it still looks nice and black, but it's got that shiny, like it's black metal. Blackened metal. Sword is so big. Goodness. Breathed in a lot of dust yesterday. We cleaned off our porch while we were doing all the potting and stuff. Potted a bunch of herbs. It's pretty cool. It'd be nice to be able to use them. I love having herbs around. Alright, same thing with this gauntlet here that we've done with like the shoulder pads and the knee pads. What we really want to do is focus on these raised parts. If we get some down on the inside, that's okay, because we're going to make this particular part of this gauntlet be bronzed. Just we'll darken it as well, because it'll get a wash on it that's really going to help darken that up. And the more I keep looking at his part around his neck, I think we were going to go back and do that again and do the same technique on it, because I keep looking at it and it just looks like it should all be bronze, and it's going to help us give us just a little bit more color break and help not have everything be all gray and black. Need a little bit more of that bronze to show out. Just to accentuate what we're doing. Like I said, we're going to hit it up with a wash that's a dark black wash. So a lot of those features are going to get obscured back down. But it'll look more like it was obscured via dirt and tarnish. Yeah, just like that. Enough to make sure we're going to give all the features some work there. We want to be able to discern what's going on, or not overkill it. And that should be gray. See, that's starting to look like hand texture. So we're going to come back and handle that in a minute. That looks like it should be his paw. There's no the raised edge here, if there is one, is very minimal. So I'm really doing a lot of trying to take an eye at it and not get too excited. It'd be really easy to overstrike doing this where the edges aren't quite as well defined. It's easier when they're real pokey. When they're not pokey out. When they don't poke out a lot, it's a lot harder to pick them off. Just take your time. Don't get in a rush. All that's going to do is make you mess up. So, but don't be afraid either. Don't be afraid of your mistakes. We all have them. We all commit them. 'Tis life. That definitely helps make that pop. Bam! Right out there. My finger's getting a little numb. If you ever feel that, definitely stop. I think I've said this before, but if your fingers start to go numb from the way you're holding a brush, you're bunching up some sort of nerve in there, and you need to take a moment and let your hand come back to normal. Just kind of let it sit down by your side and kind of pump your fingers, keep making fists, and just kind of pump it a little bit and stretch it out. Get the blood flowing through it, because if you cut off circulation or stuff, it'll start to do nerve damage and You know, that's not good for anybody. Nobody wants that. Just get these edges. Now I suppose you could if you were in a rush. You could try and paint the whole thing the bronze color and then fill it in with the dark silver, or you could paint it all dark silver and try your luck at not making any mistakes. You know, you could also do it all the dark silver, and then if you did make mistakes, just kind of come back and help him. Oh, maybe that isn't his hand. I was gonna have to turn that gray. I don't really think it is now. I think it's just the armor just looks a little funky here. Because you see it right here, it's definitely segmented and has a hard edge right there. You can see it. We'll clean that up later, but at least it's set in there now. Finger pieces are a bit of a nuisance. Ooh, those fingers are tiny. Not the tiniest, but they're not very big. Stay focused, stay focused. Very gentle. That's a claw from his thumb. Are his claws... Looks like even his claws are armored on that hand. So... Just gotta keep track of which ones are going which directions. Don't get lost. And I'm glad we put that brace in. You wouldn't be able to do this otherwise. And I don't know that I would do that for very long. And make sure you're super careful. I wouldn't even do that if it wasn't for that. I needed like 1 or 2 strokes. You don't really want to put stress on your models in a place where it's likely to break. But sometimes you don't have a choice. And so that's when it's time for that deep breath. And just don't make sudden movements. And, you know, try not to drop it, right? It seems like a no-brainer, but... Started talking about dropping it, and then I went ahead and I tried to give you an example of what that looked like. That's funny. Yeah, I like that with just a line through the fingers. Really helps it kind of stand out just a little bit, which is kind of what we're trying to do. We want to have it standing out just a touch. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too spicy. Alright. Alright, that's one arm done. This is the hard arm too. This one's a lot longer. Well, done. First part of one arm. First part of one arm. The one that matters is the one you can see most in the photos. Come to this side. Same thing we've been doing for these bigger pieces. Try and just stay super soft, super gentle. Don't obscure your details too much. Don't worry too much about getting all the way down in between all this stuff either. We really kind of want to let it stay darker down there. It's going to kind of help our wash. So when you get in fresh paint on your brush, always deal with like the tops, the most raised area. And then worry about kind of getting in these middles. Once you've kind of knocked some of the paint off your brush. And it just takes a little bit of a light touch. No big deal. A little bit of practice. I'll have it down. Not the most difficult of painting techniques, honestly. It's mostly about just that brush control. And knowing how much paint you've got on a brush. It's a little bit different than dry brushing. Because dry brushing, you rub off some of it on purpose. And this, we don't want to do that. We really kind of want it to get all the way on in the areas, but not too much. It's a Goldilocks moment. It's got to be just right. Not that you can see what I'm doing. I think this thing got moved around again. I think my cats come in here and mess with it. And I'm come in and I'm expecting it to stay the same, and it's not. I really should check it. We're going to get better about that, guys. and gals. And thems and theirs and, you know, whatever I'm supposed to say these days. I get super lost. I think I'm getting old. I used to be pretty hip cat. Back when you could say things like that and people knew what you meant. Now I don't think anybody knows what that means. I mean, anybody that's not old like me. Well, maybe my oldest son. But that's because he's like a collector of words. He likes to know what things mean. So is my middle boy, but I don't know that he's encountered that one yet. They both like words. They like knowing vocabulary, which is a good thing. You should always encourage that in your kids. Stuff like that. Hey, looking so this. Alright, go rest that hand again. Getting numb on me. It's probably from all the... It did a lot of digging yesterday. I had to use my hands a lot, so they're kind of a little... Just kind of a little angry. Yeah. We're cruising though. We're doing pretty good. Maybe a little too much water on my brush there that time. Take your time. Definitely don't want to hit that gray. Lots of work into that guy. So if we're going to make a mistake, we want to make it on the side where the black is. Because that's going to be a lot easier for us to fix. Oof. That's a very interesting place to be in right there. This is a much tighter spot right here than his other arm. And this one's weird because it's hard to get light in there to see what you're doing. So you need to make sure you're moving it around, kind of checking out what you're, where you can actually see it and where you can't, you know. It makes you look very severe. It'll get your forehead all wrinkled up. You'll be staring at it intently. People walk by and they're like, "What's wrong with you? Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I'm not mad. I'm paying attention. I'm focusing very carefully. You know, that was one of those that makes me glad we're going to be coming back. That was not as easy as it looked, but we'll be able to do some helping out when we bring in our other colors. And you can get in a big hurry on these things and mess this up real bad. So you have to stay patient. Just keep working on the edging. Keep working on it. Keep working. If you do this setup part of it right, then the rest of it becomes super easy. Heck yeah. Coming down the next arm. Then we just gotta do his back and his skirt. I'm waiting on this piece right here and the back of that skirt thing, or whatever this is, because of how much I rub on it. I'm gonna wait, and we're gonna get to that in a little bit. But I don't, like I said, I don't want it to be in a place where I'm gonna rub constantly until we're in a place where we're able to start painting it, and we're almost done at that point. Like I may do all this armor before I do all the rest of this armor before I do this back, just because of having to hold all the dang time. We could switch to some gloves, and that would help too. It'll help keep the paint from coming off. So that may be an option we go with. It likes to stick to the oils in your hands. Once it's set for a lot, you know, it takes a good amount of time. You know, it doesn't rub off quite as easy unless it's something like real hard against it. But when it's fresh, you got to be careful. Your finger can just rub it right off. Even if it's been curing, even if it's been setting up for a couple hours, you can still come in and kind of rub it off, depending on what kind of paint it is. And if it's an oil paint, it takes a long time to dry. Oil paint's wild. Mm-hmm. This sounds like Jason or Freddy. Whee! So much bronze. Mmm. Let that hand rest. Get that a little bit numb again. Like I said, just take your time when your hand starts doing that. It's a fatigue issue, so and if you don't take care of it, you'll start doing damage to it. You'll get nerve damage in your fingers, and then you won't be able to paint at all. So, like, slowing down a little bit, a few days to get your hands rested up seems like a pretty good trade-off, personally. And the good thing about this is like today, I've got no other projects going right now. So once this one's done, I can take the rest of today off and I can let my hand rest until tomorrow. It's working a shovel sure will put it on you, folks. Make your hand feel like it's going to swell up. Alright, that thing right around the edge. Oh yeah. And the thing is keep looking at it from all the angles as you turn it. Because sometimes it looks good from one side, but it doesn't actually from the other. Like sometimes, like, oh, that's pretty good. And then you turn around to look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't paint it at all. And then you look at it again, you're like, no, I just kind of, I guess I only got part of one side. So kind of keep moving it around. It's helpful. And it's not any kind of like cheating or anything. You're allowed to move the model. One of my kids said that, and that's always been funny to me. Well, isn't that cheating if you move the paper or you move the model? It's like there's no real cheating in art. And I guess you could consider AI cheating a little bit, but even then, you have to be the person that has the idea of what to tell the AI thing to paint or draw or whatever. And so I feel like using AI as part of an art project is okay, but trying to use, you should never be putting AI out there and making it seem as if that was something that you drew with your bare hands. It's not the same thing. You know, and I would, the few things I use for AI, I would definitely never claim that I drew any of that. You know, it's just not, I don't know, it's not something an artist typically would do, is take a look at something like that and say that. People who are using those to create things and saying, oh, I drew this, and it's like, well, but you didn't. You told the computer what to do, and that's how you made it, and that's okay. Say that. I had this really neat idea, and I ran it through an AI deal. It's a whole lot better than trying to like tell a bunch of people who know how drawing works that your AI drawing is something you drew by hand. We know that it's not. I don't know. That's a little bit of a strange tangent, I suppose. But there's some cool things. AI is doing some really neat stuff, and I don't think that like completely turning away from it is the right answer. But I also don't like the idea of like people saying that it's their work when a machine did it. Like I wouldn't use somebody else's work and say I did it. You know. But I also wouldn't be using AI for something super integral to my art style. I mean, making memes is one thing. Or a little, like, silly intros or something like that. Which I still think I need to change. I don't even like it as much as I did when I first made it. I was just trying to make something quick. And AI was fun to play with at first. And I use it for backgrounds and things like that. But I really feel like there's a line where you're crossing it and trying to, you know, because I'm in here hand painting this, and that's what this is about. It's not about thumbnails. I didn't have the AI create the thumbnails or I'm not sitting here trying to say teach you how to do landscape pieces or paintings, and I used an AI to paint landscapes. AI can't paint miniatures yet, so that's where my art skill is. I could probably draw up some stuff. I could probably make things that looked right, but that takes a lot longer. And for something that you're changing every single day, it's like, how do you keep up with all that? Almost there. So much gilding. How do you even get to where you can see that? There we go. That's a little easier to get to. Okay. So much bronze. Oh, he looks great. Starting to really get all that stuff done. Really helps him look legit. And get back here soon. Try to finish this up today. Here. Shoot. Ooh, just so gentle. Very gentle. So soft. Alright. These little locks. Those are like clasps that keep the armor together. They're a nice add-on. Gives a good visual texture for the overall piece. Something to kind of break up the paneling. And the Japanese, who are the original designers on the Elden Ring stuff. I don't know if the person who designed this sculpt was Japanese or just somebody who's imitating. Anyway, the Japanese are really big into fancy armor and have been for a long time. Samurai used to have like custom made armor, so like all their armor was kind of the same, but every samurai that was worth any real money had like custom made armor with the exact amount of layers and what have you. Really fascinating when you when you look back at it. Goodness, I got like glue in my throat from this weekend. Seeing something like this, where it's not really raised up for us, we're just going to give it that kiss, and then if we have to, we'll come back and tighten that up with when we put the other color in. And it gives us kind of a chance to put that other color down, and then if we've got to tighten that color up too with more bronze, then we can. This with all this armor, this is, in my opinion, the easiest way to do this. There's a lot of different methods on all sorts of different things, so definitely do what you feel like is going to work best for you. I feel like a lot of times the sculptors don't worry so much about the backs because you very rarely see them. So it doesn't quite get done the same. You get the same kind of treatment. I think we'll be alright. I think we just go ahead and get this done right here. So tomorrow we can come back and get started on the next color. Kind of make these tags another color. I might pull out like actual gold or maybe silver. I'm going to take a look at it. I need to take another look at it, the fight scene, and see exactly what he's got going on there. That's the nice part about having there's a ton of references for this guy, so I can just go pop in and look at it. At least this one doesn't have the missing maw in his or the part in his chest that's supposed to be missing is filled in. That thing with that Radagon was not exactly, oh shoot, not exactly the most fun. We got it done now. That's my warning, telling me it's almost time to start wrapping up. That's why I made that big silly stroke. It probably is, actually, my hand's probably starting to get a little tired. My other hand keeps getting numb, so I can't really tell if my hand is getting tired till it's going to be too late. That's okay. We're going to cover that up. It's alright. We're not going to stress it. We did our best to get rid of it before it's set up, and then we're just not going to stress it. Alright. Alright, well, I'm going to finish this little stroke right here. I'm going to go ahead and set her down for today, and we're going to come back tomorrow and knock out some more of this stuff. Hopefully, I'll have a few of you guys come by and see me again tomorrow, and maybe some more of our folks that pop in and out. It's always nice to have people watching, so I really do appreciate everybody who does make it in to watch, whether that's, you know, during the show or after the show. And it's all the same to me. I just appreciate a little bit of attention. It's kind of fun, kind of nice, and it keeps me motivated to keep me painting stuff, which is cool. And so that's all I got. You guys have been awesome. I've been awesome. Malaketh over there is awesome. Everything's awesome. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you guys later. I'm going to go pick up kids and do that shuffle, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.